And welcome back. I want to say a very special good morning to the studio crew. I understand at least one member of the crew, that person is peeved that I didn't say a special good morning to them this morning. Say her name. Say her name. Say my name. Say my name. Beyonce. Also a very special good morning to our friend in Master Control. All right? Master Control, you there? All right, so let's get into some serious business this morning. So protests continued for a second day at the Belmont Secondary School on Monday as parents refused to send their children to classes without the intervention of the education minister and the implementation of proper security. In another incident yesterday, a man was also shot and killed outside the Monroe Road Hindu School. Today, President of Ttuta, Martin Lumpkin, joins us to discuss these incidents. Good morning, Mr. Lumpkin.
Good morning, Mr. Hopkinson. Good morning to the viewing and listening public. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, especially our educators.
Yeah, boy. Mr. Lumpkin, my tie is matching your jersey this morning. People may think I'm a representative also of Ttuta.
Yeah, that's great.
He says that's great.
Great organization.
Thank you again, Mr. Lumpkin, for speaking to us always, as I expressed my gratitude to you earlier before we came on air. So let's get right into this situation at the Belmont School. What is the situation today, sir?
I can let the public know that our educators, our members, would have done the refusal to work. Our industrial relations officer would have visited yesterday morning and advised the members in the proper procedure in going about the refusal to work. Ttuta is of the opinion that the teachers have a very strong case because of the breach in the perimeter fencing, because there are presently no school safety officer. The only safety officer has taken leave. And on many occasions, the complement of security officers are not up to where it should be. When I visited on Friday, there were 3 out of the 4. Looking at the location of the school in a hotspot, as well as the size of the compound, we believe that there should be more security officers doing patrols and to assist the administration in keeping the plant secure. And let me point out this. This has been going on for a number of years. And the educators there, the persons on plant, would have carried out their duties under these conditions. And we are saying enough is enough. What will it take in order for the authorities, the Ministry of Education, to have that school safe and secure? Do we have to lose a life in order to do that? We're saying no. We are not going to stand for it now. And so we have instituted the refusal to work and let the OSH agency come in and do what is necessary. Let the Ministry of Education do what is necessary. In most instances, we are being too reactive. We are not being proactive. And in this case, and we will be doing assessments throughout the entire country, and bring into the attention not only the public but the Ministry of Education, where there are breaches that will threaten the safety of our members, and we are not going to stand for it anymore.
So then, Mr. Lumpkin, is it then that there are no classes being conducted today at the Belmont Secondary School?
Once our members are not on the compound because of health and safety reasons, no, there will be no classes.
Is it then that teachers are only prepared to return to their classes when their security concerns are addressed?
And yes, and we are also saying that the OSH agency, the agency that we would have filed the refusal to work, they have to come in, make their assessment, make their recommendations, deem whether it's safe or not. But they have to come in and the procedure has to follow before our members will occupy the Belmont Secondary School.
Mr. Lumpkin, how long does this procedure take place?
It is supposed to be a very quick procedure once we file and our staff representatives were supposed to email it yesterday. The OSH, well, we cannot say how quickly the OSH agency will respond. Normally, they respond in a very timely manner. So we are hoping in this instance, they would respond as well too. And the necessary investigations take place and the recommendations given to the Ministry of Education for them to act upon. Because we don't want our children, we don't want our teachers. Let me make this point. I have to make this point. In that people may think that the teachers don't want to work. They have been working for years under these conditions. And now they are saying enough is enough. Let the authorities fix it. And then they will go back to doing what they are paid to do and what they love to do as well. They love their children from the area. And they are willing to work, but not under these unsafe and the psychological, I must point out, Mr. Hopkinson, the psychological effect that had on our members, on the students. I saw some of the students waiting on their transport or the parents to come, and you could see the stress on their faces. And so we are saying we don't want our members to go through this any further.
Mr. Lumpkin, let's get back to the procedure, because there is a strong possibility that this procedure, if the investigation, let's say it begins today, it could take a few days, and then it could take another few days for arrangements to be made at the school where teachers feel secure. So then we're looking at, if not classes resuming at the end of this week, which I don't know if that could happen, but we're maybe looking at next week. So it means that there is a break in the education of the students. Have alternative arrangements been made, you know?
As far as we know, no alternative arrangements, but I want to say at this point in time that the ministry may propose to have online classes. Ttuta has been meeting with the Ministry of Education, and we also met with the Chief Personnel Officer in terms of online classes. Ttuta is not adverse to online classes, not adverse to the use of technology. However, we have been saying to the Ministry of Education, there needs to be a proper policy in place, guidelines going forward. Meet with the recognized majority union to ensure that the terms and conditions of employment of our members are not breached. Once we can come together and agree upon a procedure and the policy for online learning, we have no objections. But at this point in time, it cannot be a switch on and a switch on. It cannot be that you are using a ad hoc policy. Well, I can't even say policy because there's no policy at this point in time. So to answer your question, yes, there will be no classes until this is resolved.
I was a bit shocked earlier this week when I heard that a part of the fence was down. I was a bit shocked to hear that persons living in the area were passing through the school's compound to get to their home. And I'm just wondering, how could this be happening at a school?
I can tell you, Mr. Hopkinson is not the only school. Moval Avantil, another hotspot, their perimeter fencing have been breached for a number of years. When I spoke with the acting principal, he told me these reports have been made over a length of period. I can understand the challenges of the Ministry of Education in terms of finances. However, we are saying this is serious enough that they can find the allocation, they can get the money, because the government, if they want something done, if they have a project, they find the money. These are about lives and limbs. These are about our nation's children, our members, having safe and secure premises in order to educate our children, the future of the nation. And when you have instances like this, and I want the public to know that the teachers go through so many different situations and trauma, and yet still they continue because they love the children. We are saying yes, it is for the betterment of the children. However, there needs to be requisite things put in place in order for our members to do what they have to do.
Has there been any response from the Education Ministry?
I was told that the Ministry of Education's representatives were there yesterday, members of EFPPD, that's the institution of the ministry that deals with infrastructure and repairs. They were there, but I cannot say exactly at what point they are right now. But I know they were there visiting, doing their scope of works and so. And you understand, Mr. Hopkins, and it takes something as grave as this in order for them to move. And we are being too reactive. We need to be proactive.
Mr. Lumpkin, let's deal with the other matter now. The shooting, the murder really, outside the Monroe Road Hindu School. How do you see this? How does Ttuta view this?
This incident as well is very uneasy for our members, for Ttuta as well too. It may be the first time outside of this school, but it's not the first incident that we would have dealt with. I don't know if you can recall a couple of months ago, probably over a year ago, outside Belmont again, St. Francois Girls, there was a shooting as well. And it is becoming too often that we have to look at these incidents. And you can well imagine the trauma that the occupants of that school, not only the students, our members, our educators would have gone through. Seeing the body out there, hearing the sounds of gunshots, and it is becoming too much for us. We can recall Rose Hill RC School, the video where the teacher had to have the students drop when they heard the gunshots. And so the level of crime affecting the community is now encroaching slowly closer at the doorsteps and inside of our schools. Schools are supposed to be safe havens. It's supposed to be a place, a sanctuary, and it is supposed to be, to me, sacred because learning takes place there. And now the crime situation is pervasive and it's getting into our system and affecting all our players in education.
Yeah, surely, as you said earlier, this must be traumatizing for students and the teachers at the institution. But what is done when incidents such as these occur in order to get the teachers and the students back on track and make them feel safe once again at the institution?
So there is the Student Support Services Division, and I have placed on record the importance of this group of educators, these groups of professionals. And so we have guidance counselors who would come in and counsel the students and to appoint counsel our teachers. I know Ministry of Education will also utilize other specialists. And our teachers, I remind them that they have in their arsenal in order to deal with this, if so be, the Employee Assistance Program, EAP. Now, I want to reach out to the ministry and also make a plug for our SSSD, Student Support Services Division personnel. They are understaffed, under-resourced. We need to beef up that part of the education sector in order to give support to our administrators, our teachers as well. And even we need to have psychologists, child psychologists as well too, in that arsenal, because the guidance counselors can only do so much. We need to have further strengthening of the system in order to deal with it, especially coming out of the pandemic, where students and teachers would have faced that lockdown and the psychological effects of it. Now you are getting another barrage of psychological effects that are coming onto our education system. So we need to invest, we need to put the requisite financial assistance in those areas as well.
Yeah. Mr. Lumpkin, is there a resolution to this issue? What do we do as a country? Do we put bigger gates with locks? Do we put metal detectors at schools? Is it that you want more patrols outside the schools by the police? What has to be done?
Well, all of that will help in the situation. Those are what we call short-term measures. But think about it, Mr. Hopkinson. If we start to make the schools with higher fences and barbed wires and metal gates and a lot of security personnel, what does it look like?
It looks like a prison.
It looks like a prison. And that as well will have some psychological effect on the occupants, especially our students. This is a deep-rooted problem in society, and we need to tackle it. We need to have and ask the serious questions, the questions that people don't want to ask. What is the cause of crime in our community? And there are many, many factors, and we need to get into that. Now, the school will try its best in order to inculcate values and certain extracurricular and curricular events and planning and so. But it takes the community as well too.
Ttuta President Martin Lumpkin, thank you very much for speaking with us this morning again, sir.
You're welcome anytime. Thank you again for having me.
Yes, bye for now. So it's time to take a break, but let's check out this traffic update from Caroni and Uriah Butler Highway. If we hold on a little longer, I'm sure it will go across to the highway. The lot is very quiet this morning.
Another young boy for